So at this point, in the technology folder, within the templates folder, you now have something for Google Sheets, Google Docs, but then we've taken it higher by doing a top-down web. And if you were working through the whole writing process, the top-down web would be one of the starting points. So we'll add another layer to this today. Make sure you're under your Drive, Technology, and Templates. So pause the video and get there now. And once you're there, double check to make sure that this is blue. And I'm using this to remind you that you can view your folders in this area, but you can also see them here as well. Well, we're going to build some two-column notes. So let's go ahead and take this blank document and do a control click on it. So while holding the control button, press click on your trackpad and choose make a copy. It tells you that it's creating a copy of blank document. So instead of just having the blank document here, it's selecting the copy of blank document. I should explain what I did there. Do a control click on the file and choose rename. Rename this to two column notes. This is, definitely sight words here. So make sure you get COLUMN. Make sure the N, the C, the T, make sure all these letters are capitalized. Because alphabetically, numbers are usually first, my two-column notes are at the very end. You can often rename and do all those changes that I just showed you by clicking on these More Actions icons. Let's open up the two-column notes. Your name is fine. The date, we want generic, so we'll keep the word date. The class, we also want generic. Assignment, well, it'll probably be for a class, and it'll probably be specific to something, but it might be appropriate to put two-column notes here. But we'll keep that plain as it is. Double-click on the word title. Let's fix this so that it says two-column notes. But it's not just two-column notes, right? It's two-column notes for something. So up here, I've added a new line before two-column notes, and we can put topic here. We'll remove start here. A lot of people just hit the delete button repeatedly. Sometimes it's quicker to do a click and drag. Well, we have this blank area. Let's see what we're actually planning on doing. Don't forget, this is your header. It's different from the first page. So then we have more pages later on. It's not going to carry over. Let's see what we're actually building. We're going to build this, where the main ideas are in bold on the left, and we're going to build the right area to add with supporting details. Now, you probably won't have as many as 7 main ideas all the time, but it'll be good to include that many. So let's click Insert, Table, and we're going to have 7 rows and 2 columns. And the dimensions that it tells me say 2 by 7. Insert that. Go ahead and make all of this bold. And let me explain to you what I just did there. I was in the first cell that I wanted, and I want to do this for all the cells. So to make that happen, I'm going to hold Shift, click on the very last one, and then I'm going to press Command B. You'll see how when I hit it, this will change. You can also always click there. I know all of these are going to say main idea. Later on I'm going to replace it. So if I had main idea, it might just be main idea 1, but I would just choose the text later on and change it to the beginnings, if that was the first main idea of my topic. But for this, we want it to be generic. So I'm going to select my text and type capital M-A-I-N space capital I-D-E-A. Now add one more space after that, and I'll show you why I had to do that. Choose the text again. Since my cursor's there, I'm just going to hold Shift and click before it, Command C. I've copied the main idea. The edit flashes blue because it knows that I'm doing a copy command. Well, copy begins with the letter C. That's why it's Command C. But the pasting doesn't make as much sense. To paste, it is Command V. V as in van. So Command V, click down, Command V, click down, Command V. Sometimes you can just use your arrow keys to go up and down, and you can hit Command V, and you get pretty used to the muscle memory. Now go back, click here, and hit 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. It's my alarm going off. Sorry about that. Command V, whoops, I'm sorry, 4 down, 5 down, 6 down, 7 down. Well, we have the spots for all of that. Then let's add the supporting details. Detail 1 is what we'll have. Detail 2, detail 3. I'm not going to go beyond having the slots for 3 details. I think that's probably a bit much. But we will copy all of these sub-details into each spot. And the way I did that was by choosing the text, pressing Command C, Command V, Command V, Command V. Be careful not to grab more than you needed, because if you copy the main idea part and the detail part, you'll end up messing your table up. And that's why I always say Command Z, as in zebra, is your friend, because you can undo that last step, find your mistake, and fix it. When yours is completely filled in like mine, resume the video, but pause and get caught up. The details will take up more room. Because of that, we're going to drag this over. So hovering over the middle line changes the look of my cursor. When I do a click and drag, I'll move this, and I'll let go at about 2. I think that looks clean. We want more space on the left than we do the right, and I think that that's an appropriate amount of space to give us. Now, the details are sort of nice to have bolded out, and the reason it's nice to have, bulleted out, if this is a supporting detail, it has more info than a main idea or supporting detail like in a top-down web. And what I'm pointing out is that if you just start typing and if it goes over a line, it's very unclear where this supporting detail breaks apart from the one before it, if these end up reading more like sentences, which they really shouldn't read more like sentences, but if they do, it's nice to go and choose all of these. So make sure you have the entire section on the right selected, and then not a bulleted list, but let's do not a numbered list, excuse me, but do a bulleted list for that. Alright, so let's mess around with the look and feel of this. I think it looks cooler when it's all a little bit darker. And if I choose this, do you see how it only chose this cell? That's because when I want to change the features of my table, I want to do a click and drag and choose the whole area. Once I choose the whole area, I will get that choice to mess with my borders pop up, and I can click to select borders here, and I will choose the window icon in the top left because it selects all the borders. Let's make everything thicker first. I choose 2.25. I think that looks pretty strong, like a little bit too much, but I think it's going to look okay. Now, I like to remove these on the left and right. So I'm going to click and drag to choose all of my features on the left. And then I will choose my borders, but just my leftmost border. When I click on the border width, I will change this to 0. Now on the right side, click and drag to select everything. If you accidentally find that you picked something up and moved it, hit Command Z, and then see instead how I'm clicking to select the entire set of cells on the right, and I'll choose the rightmost border. 0 point. Now you have your template for your 2-column notes. Which means that if you do a story or you work on some project where a top-down web is appropriate, you now have this as a basis, and now you have 2-column notes as your basis. And these are 2-column notes, but let's do this a different way. With the 2-column notes chosen, click here, go to Rename, go to the end of the file, open up a bracket, rename this to blank. That way, it makes it more likely that if you open up this file, you won't lose your template and change it. If you ever need to add more, all you have to do is insert more rows. Alright, so this will complete the video.